At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of sixes back-to-back. What a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football. On second and very short, Fields. And a big loss here as he's taken down. So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at third down and long. Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. Flushed out right. And that is incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them. And I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
It'll be a 48-yard punt. 5 there on the return. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And my goodness, another interception. Eddie Jackson picks it. Well, Charles, you're so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. So we have come upon halftime, and it's the visiting group from Washington who are out on top. As we are off to Orlando now to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach? From his end zone, here comes Carter. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, if there were 3 talking points at the half, partner, all of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly harped on it, but I think they told them, guys, if you want to keep calling those plays that are exciting, you've got to take care of the ball. Otherwise, we may have to dial things back a little bit.
Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A big connection on that one. 39 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Chandler Jackson. And the Bears are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they just got a little help from their defense forcing the turnover. Now can they make that pay off in points?
They need to, partner. They're down on the scoreboard. Need to take advantage of those opportunities. And this is a good one right in front of them.
And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. On first down, it's Fields. Dancing to his left. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable. And that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that. And they force another incompletion.
They're firing a deep ball for Kmet. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Again, Fields.
this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the third quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. They'll start on the ground with Gibson. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. Man, I just love being in this stadium. So much history, tradition, so many great teams and games. And we're seeing a pretty good one right now. Hotly contested in the third. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Washington. Curtis Samuel, 77 yards. And Washington able to stretch that lead out even further. Extra point by Sly is up and good. And it's now 14-0. Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. Grant, he will not return it, and his guys will begin at the 25. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm. A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Sliding out of the pocket, and he rifles one incomplete.
I'm getting the sense that this offense is getting frustrated. Here we are into the third quarter, and they've had plenty of opportunities to get in sync. Thus far, that hasn't happened. They're looking for answers, both on the sidelines and in the huddle looking at each other.
Here's Fields. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Had to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on third down.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Here comes Carter. A good kick that time, but also a pretty good 15-yard return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Running the sweep with McLaurin. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. An excellent run there coming from out wide.
And we used to consider these jet sweeps to be gadget plays or something a little bit unusual, right? But now most teams have some version of this play in their playbook. And I think it's a lot because of the receivers that are being developed nowadays. These guys look like running backs, even though they're playing out on the perimeter.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on second down. 8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. They'll try to throw here, Fitzpatrick. That one caught by Carter. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Here's a give to Gibson. And finding room to work, he's down to the 2-yard line. 2nd and 1 from the 2. They'll go again with Gibson. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. Antonio Gibson taking it in from 2 yards out. And Washington is able to stretch their lead. Extra point by Sly is up and good. And that makes the score 21-0. Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. the return from his end zone is Grant. And he will be taken down here on the return on what will wind up being the final play of this third quarter. 3 quarters have come and gone. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
On this one, incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it, and it's second down. So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. From the gun, it's a give to Montgomery. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. From the gun, here's Fields. Gonna let one fly for Robinson. And now here's another interception. Picked off near the 42. And you have to wonder, Charles, in a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day, because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage is
under pressure, and he'll go down back at the 26-yard line. Now that after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. A handoff for Gibson. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. On play action, Fitzpatrick. Throw left side, complete. That's Carter. An incredible play there. They do get big yardage, but they're still stopped a yard or 2 short, and it's 4th down. Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. Ron Rivera, the gambling type, but he comes up empty here. And that will force a turnover on downs. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. To Montgomery to begin the drive. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
That first down play, all you want to do is wedge out any type of space and try and create enough room. If you have to run the punter out there, he can successfully complete the punt.
Yeah, didn't get a ton there, but at least some positive yardage. Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Throwing on 3rd down, Fields. Had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. With this lead and the football, things obviously looking good, but maybe, you've taught me this before, maybe this is where the defense is hoping that the offense helps them preserve that shutout that they've got going.
And it has to be in the minds of the offense that they know how rare it is to get a shutout. So take care of them, protect them, take care of the ball, move it downfield, run the clock down. You don't want your defense to have to go on the field again the rest of the game. Reward them.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Washington. Curtis Samuel, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And Washington going to add on to their lead. Slide for the PAT. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. And this will be a touchback as Grant opts not to return it. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now?
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25. A shotgun snap, Fields. Man open, it's Goodwin. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. Now Fields. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
On 4th down, Fields. Goodwin able to haul it in. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now, because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Washington territory. 52 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. On 2nd and a couple, Fields. And he's got the speedster Goodwin. And they're going to have another 1st down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 27-yard line.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
And the pass falls incomplete. So 5 seconds remaining now in this first half. On is Santos for the Bears field goal. From the right hash, this from 44 yards out. And this one is right through. And that drops a deficit from 28 to 25. Well, he was a spectator for much of this game. This is his first field goal opportunity of the entire contest, but he's able to connect.
Yeah, he had a pretty good seat to this one, didn't he? But let's face it, all kickers that you and I know, they want to contribute. They want their opportunity, and he seized his.
After the made field goal, Santos back out there to kick it away. And Carter deciding not to bring this one out. Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive. That's going to set him back 5 yards.